catch up to us. All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this very special occasion. Councillor Ray is in front of us and behind us on the big screen. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 5 p.m. And just before we get started, I want to acknowledge that the land on which we gather is Treaty 2 land, traditional territory of Anishinaabe, Cree, Ojibwe Cree, Assiniboine, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and homeland of the Métis Nation. We affirm our commitment to moving forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in a spirit of collaboration and reconciliation. So I would, again, like to welcome everyone here today. This is a really, I think, an important day for us as a community because of a special ceremony that we have at the front end of our meeting. So we'll get things started and turn it over to our city manager, Charla.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Is this on, do you think? Yeah, okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everybody. My name is Charla Griffiths, and I'm the city manager for the city of Dauphin. And welcome to the inaugural Sunshine Awards ceremony for the city of Dauphin. So as I think most of you know, this council is quite progressive, and they really appreciate community builders. And the city of Dauphin does have a policy to recognize people in the community who are doing things. So the mayor said, I would like to name it a Sunshine Award because we are the city of sunshine. So I guess formally, we have said the City of Dauphin Sunshine Awards are an initiative designed to formally honor individuals or community groups for their outstanding contributions in our city. These awards not only celebrate their achievements, but also encourage others to take an active role in improving the community. This year, the Mayor and Council are recognizing 4 individuals who have shown exceptional dedication, service, and have made a lasting positive impact in Dauphin in 2024. And I will turn it over to Mayor Boziak to talk about the recipients, and as well Councillor Kathy Bellamar to also talk about one of the recipients.
Thanks. And it's kind of weird because you're like 2 feet away from me, but we're using a mic, but we have Ted watching on the internet and Charla's mom and dad. So we have a crowd of 3 out in the big world. So what's really neat about this council, Charla mentioned it and I want to echo it. We believe we're very progressive in the sense that we value community and we value the people in our community and want to make Dauphin a great place to be. It is a great place to be. We want to make it a better place to be. And so these awards are just a little bit of the city's recognition of the efforts that community-minded people put in. And oftentimes, different organizations in our community have awards for their members or for other things. But as I was reviewing the city, I said there wasn't anything official that we did. Some cities give away keys to the city. We don't want to do that. Not to these 3 anyway. But we just thought, and I want to acknowledge council's support for this, because when I first presented it and had a chat with Martine and Ember at Economic Development and Tourism, and they thought it was an interesting idea, and then council agreed, and I want to acknowledge Councillor Bellamare for helping identify one of our recipients today. And we have a bit of a list of others that we thought we could do it, but in the discussions for this year, we knew that there was some folks that we wanted to acknowledge because of their significant contribution to our community. And so we'll start with Brenda Gregory, who's actually not here, but will be here physically in a couple weeks' time to accept the award. But Brenda is the example of the silent person that you don't really know is involved in stuff, but is. And in particular with the Derailleur Cycle Club and with the development of Northgate, she was one of those quiet behind the scenes person that was always showing up. And I can recall many times I'm out there on my bike and I run into her on the trail supervising the green team or schlepping stuff around or using a backpack. It's plus 30 and she's in the bush with mosquitoes and bugs. And so that was just an example for me of someone who has, goes above and beyond the call of duty. And I want to share this sentiment with all of our recipients today. None of them expect recognition. None of them do it for recognition. Some people get involved to move their career forward, to develop relationships, to possibly create future business deals. But the folks that we've identified today did it because they're great people and they care about the community and they just do it because they know it's the right thing to do. So we will be presenting Brenda her plaque, and we have some information available on our website following this, and some details. So council's going to go, yeah, he's not going to read this stuff, and I'm just going to make things up out of my little head, and the information will be here on our website. With we have a little write up about all the folks that are involved. I'd like to ask Councillor Bellarmine to come up to speak about Jerry Joss, who is in the room today.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to congratulate all the recipients. It's just awesome that seeing what you people have done for our community, and it just gives me great pleasure to see you being honored in this way. So I wanted to start with that. Jerry is a teacher who taught for many years in our community. I never had the pleasure of working with him, but I used to always hear this buzz. You hear the buzz out of the corner of your ear and go, okay, that guy's doing some really cool stuff with kids, So there was a lot of that happening with Jerry in his teaching career through the years. And I didn't get involved with him until I became part of Shiraz, and I'll talk about that in just a couple of minutes. But some of the things that Jerry has done that has made a difference in our community is in 4 areas I want to mention. One is the cemetery. So when he found out I was on council, he hauled me down to the cemetery and showed me all the things that needed to be done and made sure that I took notes on this and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, Jerry. But, I really appreciate that. I'm now on the cemetery committee, and I went, oh, yeah, Jerry and I talked about that. Oh, yeah, and it's important. That whole bit of honoring people who have been part of our community is very important. My latest invite is to go help clean stones, because he's also involved with Friends of Riverside, and they are working actively just to make that place look better and better. Jerry, unlike you mentioned quiet people, that's not Jerry, right? So he also was the guy that when I went to theater and misproductions over the years, he was there on stage. And I mean, that face of Jerry's, right? He can just put all kinds of emotion into that face. So he was always front and center and being very involved. And I know that he wasn't just a big star on the stage. He was doing a lot of the work behind the scenes as well, because that's the kind of person that Jerry is. Just a little cute story. Rock and Roll Heaven, you probably have heard of that. And Jerry was in that role. And they did the screening of that on the big screen, and Jerry wore a tux last year because he was just so impressed that this was his first time on the big screen. So, and I still involved with Gunsmoke, that ongoing series. So the voice is out there still making things happen in our community. Jerry has also been involved with the Ukrainian Family Fund through various roles, and I know that one of the families that came to Dauphin, he was their Canadian friend, and Slava and his wife, and he's still talking about them. He's still guiding them. It wasn't sort of like, okay, 3 months, you're on your own kind of thing. So still very much involved. And then Shiraz, our dance group, he was the one that went to a Ukrainian dance competition in Yorkton and watched his nephew dance and thought, why can't I do that? And came back and made it happen. And our dance group is now in its 19th year. And most people in this community have heard of our dance group. We've been on the big stage here. We've been out dancing in Vegreville and in Saskatoon and Regina, and had fun together. He's helped us create a family because we travel together, we party together, we support each other, and he won't admit that he's the president, but he really is the president of that group. And you've made a tremendous addition to our community through the creation of our group. Our group is more than a dance group, though. We also were involved with helping Ukrainian families settle, and also, that there's that Ukrainian village at the site there. So each year during the festival, we people the village, and Jerry is the guy that organizes us to be out there. And, he's dug hostas in my garden to plant out there to make that site look just a little bit nicer. And he goes to yard sales and finds artifacts that will just make that whole thing a little bit more realistic. Like, he's always looking at how can I make things better. So Jerry, on behalf of our community, I'd like to say thank you for all that you've done.
And we'll get a picture of everybody who's here with us after, if Sean wants. But do you want to turn around so we can, so the crowd can get a picture? Yeah, thanks very much. And I've known Jerry for a long, long time when he was a teacher, and I was doing some basketball stuff at Whitmore School. I think you were at Whitmore at the time, and so it's just always around, always willing to help. And that's the same with Brenda. I've known Brenda professionally for over 30 years, and she was involved in health and other things in her professional life, but just community minded from the outset. So we've got rid of the first two, in the sense of not rid of, and not in a negative way, but yeah, 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 yeah. We know better. Although a song, if you were willing to sing, we might. Yes, yes. So we're wondering about the next two recipients or award recipients, because we thought separate or together, like it's kind of weird, like their partners are actually here but they're here, but yeah, I know. But I've known and I've known Jerry and Brenda for a long time, but when I met Brenda and Jerry, they were already adults and they knew better. I met these folks when they were kids, and they've been Dauphin kids for a long time. And I knew something was special about them when I first met them as kids. They were just different. They were kids, but they were more mature for their age than other kids their age. And so it's been a pleasure seeing them grow up and be in our community and stay in our community. Because I've told lots of young folks, go away. Like, go to school, go somewhere, but come back. Consider coming back. The Dauphin can be a great place. And we're so lucky to have these young people here, because these are the next leaders of our community. I said that to them privately, and I'm saying it publicly, and I truly believe it. And so the last 6.5, 7 years exemplified their commitment to our community with the summer games. And I know we've had some private conversations, and I kind of told them, maybe indirectly, punt it, like, take the money and run. Let's not do the games. Like, let's just take the money, get some stuff done, but it's a lot of work. And they nose to the grindstone, carried on. And so this award is recognition of that commitment, but it's not just that. It's also being in the community, becoming the next generation of longstanding businesses in our community, always stepping up with donations and contributions and being there and being involved. And again, like Jerry and like Brenda, you're not looking for recognition. You're probably trying to learn how to say no. And I know I've had some casual conversations with you about, okay, we have lives, we have families, we have other interests. Yet I know that it's a challenge sometimes to find the time to do all the things that you do, but we're so much better off because of that. So to their families, I want to say thank you for letting them be who they are, and you can have them back for a little while, but some of us might have more plans for them. And not saying you're old, Jerry, and past considering you for the future, but yeah, but no. So it's a tremendous mix, and so again, Clayton, Carla, for all you've done for the games, but for us as a community, and to be shining examples for the next generation of what we want from people who are in our community, and you're making a great place. So, again, thank you very much for doing that. I hope you're not going anywhere. Jerry, I hope you're not going anywhere either. But it's a tremendous benefit to have you in our community, and that's what these awards are about. Initially, when council was first, we were talking about this, we said, well, and again, no offense to administration, but criteria, what are the things that have to be? And I'm going, how about just being good people? How about just being nice people? How about just doing the right thing at the right time for the right reason? And that's what you all exemplify. So I'm so happy that you're in our community, and I'm so happy that we have these awards, and this is like the Oscars. You even get a swag bag to take. Well, I know. So Carla, Clayton, come on up and accept your plaque. Clayton. Oh, this is Carla? Yep. We'll do something like this. You want me to pretend? Oh yeah, we don't want daily photo bombing this stuff, hey? And Sean, do you want one with Derek? One up? We'll do one and let's go behind here. We'll put Brenda. Okay. And Kathy's wanting to do a part of this. We arrange these in a special way so you can like really
So David, since you mentioned
all right, and I know this is. I know, no, it's not. I know this is a mistake, but if you want to say something, I'll let you. Just 20 seconds or less, 30 seconds, 2 minutes or less, please.
All right, thank you. It's an incredible honor to be recognized by council. We really appreciate. I really appreciate the recognition, and you're right. We don't do it to seek that out. We live here. We want to make it a better place for ourselves. I'm selfish, and I got a 6-year-old, and I want it to be a fantastic place for her to grow up in. So, but it's nice to get the recognition, and Carla and I both feel that both of these awards are for our whole committee. We had an incredible executive that worked so hard for 6 years, didn't say no, came back when we went and asked again, and we pulled off a great event, and we were our community is better because of all of those people who said yes. So.
Yeah, ditto to what Clayton said, but also just I'm glad this award has been established because it is important to recognize people in your community because, yeah, we did the games, but there's so many other opportunities to get involved with things, and I know all three of us have. It's outside of what we've been recognized for today. We all. I think I can speak for us all when I say that we do it exactly like Clayton said. For the future, the next generations, but also, you hear people complaining about Dauphin or things. There's nothing to do, but you just sometimes just have to make it happen. And so that's kind of how I've always set my targets and set my goals. And if you want something to happen, just do it, and you will find people to help you because that's just the type of city we are. So, thank you.
Ditto. No, that's not going to work. Yeah. No, but it is true. I mean, we can say that again and again. None of us expect to be getting an award for doing what we love to do, and that is helping out. So wherever there is kind of a need and we have a little bit of the skill to help out, I think we just jump in and help out. And I think this award really, I said, David, it's a little oh my, what? Are you serious? It is wonderful to be acknowledged this way. And I'm hoping that when I talk to other people, that they too will think of, for me, it's giving back. You're still working, but for me, I had a great career. And now it is the opportunity to give back to the community that I really enjoyed being part of. So thank you, David and council members. This is humbling. This is very lovely. Thank you.
Thank you. Yep. Just in case. Thank you again, everybody, for being here, and have a dainty or coffee. And now you have to stay for the rest of the council meeting. Actually, you do not. So if you want to, you can. You're certainly invited to stay. But again, I appreciate you coming, families, for supporting you and continue support. And please do not think that this is I'm done. I can just put my feet up. We'll be coming back again to ask for your help on stuff. So again, thank you very much, everyone.
You should have made
So we'll get right into the regular meeting business, and moved by Deputy Mayor Lachlan, seconded by Councillor Sticalo, that we accept the regular council meeting agenda as presented. All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Sticalo, be it resolved that council waives the readings and accepts and approves as circulated the minutes of the following meeting, and that's the regular council meeting of September 16th, 2024. Before I call for the question, I just want to, there's one little edit that's required, that on the very last page, Councillor, or it says Mayor Bosiak adjourned the meeting, and nope, I wasn't here. So if that could just be Deputy Mayor Lachlan, I think, or you did adjourn it, right, Christian? Anyone else maybe try to adjourn it earlier? Yeah, Sean, yes. Any questions or comments regarding the minutes? Seeing none, call for the question. All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, carried. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Sticalo, seconded by Deputy Mayor Lachlan. Be resolved that council presents or approves the Sunshine Award presentations to the following recipients. That was Brenda Gregory, Jerry Joss, Clayton Swanton, and Carla Wolfenden. I'm assuming everyone's in favor of that. Anyone want to speak for it? No? All in favor then? Good. Motion is carried. Councillor Ray, I did see your hand go up, so yes, you are duly acknowledged in that. Now moving to the next item, which is the consent agenda. We have several action items related to outstanding water accounts. Roll 00-11400-5789, non-payment of final utility bill. 0185-000-10645, same reason, no final payment. 013-2400-17120, same. 0047900-23627, same. 0035500-27336, previous tenant did not pay the final utility bill. And 0006900 in the amount of $18,593.36. as the owner has not paid their current water bill. And those are recommended by the Director of Finance and the Utility Clerk. We have one proclamation this week, and that's Small Business Week and Chamber Days. I'd like to call on Councillor Sobring for that, please.
Thank you, Mayor Boziak. Whereas Small Business Week in Canada is designated as October 20th to 26th, 2024, and whereas Small Business Week is an annual celebration of entrepreneurship that the Business Development Bank of Canada has organized for over 40 years, and whereas during this week, citizens are encouraged to support small and medium-sized businesses, and whereas during this week, organizations offer events and programming to help further support for small and medium-sized businesses. And whereas the City of Dauphin commends the Parkland Chamber of Commerce for their efforts in support of the business community across the Parkland and recognizes that we are indeed stronger together. Therefore, we, the Council of the City of Dauphin, proclaim October 20th to the 26th, 2024 as Small Business Week and Chamber Days.
Thank you, Councillor Sobring. We have a number of filing items. We have a newsletter from Growing Manitoba Ag, from Prairie Mountain Health, from Community Futures Parkland, and some correspondence regarding the Manitoba Municipal Administrators, and that's the District 7 Director. And I'd just like to acknowledge Deputy City Manager Lisa Gaudette for her representation on that committee for the last number of years. And so now you have free time for other stuff, right? Yeah, we'll just load you up for sure. So good work there, Lisa, on being involved in that organization. A couple of news releases from the Premier of the province regarding the extension of the gas tax holiday to the end of December, and from the Department of Families regarding fetal alcohol spectrum disorder and the strategy related to that. And those are recommended by the City Manager. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Deputy Mayor Laughlin. Be it resolved that these items listed under consent agenda, item 5, be approved and form part of these minutes. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Stakilo. Be it resolved that we accept as information the corporate report for today's meeting from the City Manager, and that's for the month of September. And I'd like to ask Charlotte if there's a few things she may want to address in her report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If there's any questions at the end, I'll take them, but I do want to highlight one thing that happened in September, September 8th to 11th. I attended, along with the Deputy City Manager, the Manitoba Municipal Administrators Conference in Winnipeg. It was almost 3.5 days of very good meetings. Got to spend time with other, not just CAOs, but other municipal staff, as well as provincial government staff and other vendors and entities that provide services to municipalities. I just wanted to highlight that I was fortunate enough to be asked, along with Grady Stevenson, the CAO from the town of Carberry, to do a 1-hour presentation about our community's responses to the Carberry bus crash. Such a unique situation where there's two communities linked. One, because the crash happened near their town, and the other one is because most of the people are from the Parkland. So it was a joint presentation where we talked about it day through day, the Thursday that it happened, the Friday afterwards, and the weekend and beyond. What did it look like in Carberry, and what did it look like in Dauphin? And then how did we help our citizens? How did we help our staff? How did we help our first responders? So it was like a conversation. I felt like we just sat behind a table. We had a couple microphones, and I felt like we had a conversation with people in there. And there was a lot of head nodding and memories that came back, because I don't think there was one person in that room who did not hear about it and who did not have some visual images in their mind from CBC News or whatever they saw. So that was a very big part of that conference for me. Also, I want to end by saying happy anniversary to my parents, John and Sonia Spaller. 52 years today. My dad was saying, "Where should I take Mom?" And I said, why don't you come to the council meeting? You can sit here firsthand instead of watching it online. Maybe share some stories with Sean Bailey. My dad reads the Dauphin Herald faithfully, and whatnot. They're not here. I don't even think they're watching online. But happy anniversary to them anyway. Thank you.
Any members of council have any questions for Charlotte? No. Good then. Call for the question. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Next item, moved by Councillor Sobering, seconded by Councillor Stakilo, that we accept the report from the Deputy City Manager. Lisa? Yes, sorry.
Thank you,
Didn't have my
Mayor.
glasses on.
Thank you, Mayor Boziak. I thought it might be worthwhile reading the section from my report related to National Truth and Reconciliation Week. During National Truth and Reconciliation Week, I had the privilege of attending a series of insightful webinars hosted by the National Center for Truth and Reconciliation. These sessions illuminated the profound and ongoing impacts of our colonial history, covering critical topics such as the health legacies of residential schools and Indian hospitals, allyship, Indigenous identity fraud, and the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. Each session underscored the importance of not only acknowledging but deeply understanding the intergenerational trauma endured by our Indigenous friends, neighbors, and colleagues. As municipal leaders, it is essential that we confront these realities and commit to fostering genuine reconciliation in our community while dismantling biases and barriers to ensure inclusivity and support for everyone. I'll be joining Mayor Boziak, Councillors Daly and Ray, and the City Manager for a comprehensive block of truth and reconciliation awareness training facilitated by Legacy Bose Consultants, starting with a 2-hour facilitated introductory session on October 24th, followed by 10 training modules and 2 additional check-in learning sessions covering the topics of pre-contact, contact, legislation, residential schools, child welfare systems, the 60s scoop, the justice system, missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls, and the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. I'm looking forward to learning and insights that will help us to establish patterns of behavior within our own organization that will result in meaningful change and growth for all of us under this key pillar of our city plan. I also wanted to mention as well that it was a pleasure serving on the Executive Council of the Manitoba Municipal Administrators as the Director for District 7 over the last 3 years of my term. I stepped down as Director at our District 7 meeting in September and congratulate Anthony McGuinness, CAO for the City of Thompson, who was elected as a new Director for our district. Thanks to the MMA, I soaked up many opportunities for professional development. I forged invaluable connections with my peers, and I've evolved tremendously as an administrator within my municipality as a result. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Lisa. Call for the question then. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Deputy Mayor Laughlin. Be resolved that we accept as information that we accept the financial accounts that have been examined by council and hereby authorize the following. We had 52 checks in our last run for a total of $312,214.03. There were no voided checks in that range. There were no voided checks in the past range. And there were 4 electronic payments in September for the amount of $215,801.27. Any questions or comments regarding the financial account report? Seeing none, call for the question. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Stakilo. Be resolved that we accept as information the unaudited financial statements before PSAB adjustments for the period ending June and July 2024, which include the general fund balance sheet and income statement and the utility fund balance sheet and income statement. Any questions or comments regarding these two reports? Call for the question then. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Sobering, seconded by Councillor Stakalo. Be it resolved that we accept as information the reserve reports for the period ending June and July 2024. Questions or comments regarding the reserve account balance? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Deputy Mayor Laughlin. Be it resolved that we accept as information the budget variance report for the period ending July 2024. Questions or comments? Call for the question. All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none. Carried. Moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Stakalo. Be it resolved that we accept as information the Protective Services report for the October 7th meeting, and that's from the Bylaw Enforcement Officer for the month of September. Questions or comments regarding this report? All in favor? Opposed? None. Carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Laughlin, seconded by Councillor Stakalo. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information the minutes and reports from the following committees: Fort Dauphin Museum, their regular board meeting of August the 7th, and their manager's report for September. The Dauphin Area Welcoming Committee Coalition, their regular meeting from August 27th, and the Dauphin Veterinary Services Board, their audited financial statements for the end of the year of 2023. Questions or comments regarding any of these minutes or reports from committees? Call for the question. All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Stakalo. Whereas the province of Manitoba, under the Poverty Reduction Strategy Act, is required to review and update its poverty reduction strategy every 5 years, and whereas the current poverty reduction strategy, Pathways to a Better Future, was released in March of 2019 and is due for renewal in 2024, and whereas Manitoba's Poverty Reduction Committee of Cabinet has identified vulnerable populations, including infants and children, youth aging out of care, and seniors as the focus of the next strategy, be it resolved that Council accepts as information correspondence from September the 16th from Julie Kentner, the Executive Director, Legislation and Strategic Policy, Manitoba Families, inviting local stakeholders and residents to participate in the upcoming engagement process through meetings, surveys, and submissions, including public stakeholder and Indigenous engagements at the Super 8 Hotel in Dauphin, being held on October the 23rd, 2024. Further be resolved that Council acknowledges the importance of addressing poverty and supporting vulnerable populations through collaborative efforts and initiatives, and encourages local stakeholders to participate in the poverty reduction strategy engagement process and to provide essential perspectives in the development and renewal of the strategy for 2024 and beyond. Questions or comments regarding this event coming up in October? It's actually happening all over the province. Our event is on October the 23rd. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Stakalo and seconded by Councillor Sobering. Whereas the Canada Community Building Fund, formerly known as the Federal Gas Tax Fund, provides funding for municipal infrastructure projects, and the Government of Canada and Manitoba executed the 2024 to 2034 CCBF Administrative Agreement, which was effective of April 1st of this year, to govern the flow of CCBF funding to Manitoba municipalities. And whereas Manitoba's allocation for 2024-25 under the new agreement is based on 2021 census data and is slightly less than the previous 2023 allocation due to changing populations across the country, be it resolved that Council accepts as information memo from September the 5th from Stephen Spry, Assistant Deputy Minister, Capital Project Planning and Delivery, Consumer Protection and Government Services, outlining the City of Dauphin's CCBF allocation for the next 5 years as follows: 2024-25, $465,330, 25-26, $484,719, the same amount for 26 and 27. For 27 and 28, the amount is $504,108, and also for 2028 and 29, the amount is $504,108. Further be resolved that Council accepts as information the 10-year Municipal Canada funding agreement between the Government of Manitoba and the City of Dauphin for the period of April 1, 2024 through March 31st, 2034, which outlines the terms and conditions of the funding allocation, including project eligibility and recording requirements. Further be resolved that Council authorizes the municipal agreement under the CCBF between the Government of Manitoba and the city to be signed and sealed by the mayor and the city manager on behalf of the city. Questions or comments regarding this? Or Charlotte, is there any background you need to provide?
I think maybe what I'll say is that in 2023, we did get $494,000, I believe it was. No, sorry, 495,000. So this is about a $30,000 reduction, but it is more formalized throughout all of Canada. We find out about this grant a lot earlier in the year, but the provincial government was working with the federal government on this multi-year agreement. So, and then coast to coast. So every province and territory we're working on it. So a lot more formalized than what we've seen in past years, but we also know that this is coming for 10 years. So that's great.
Thank you. Microphone. Mike, did you want to say anything? Oh, so Mike, about, I get it now, Christian, yeah. Thanks very much, Mike. All right, let's get organized here again. I keep flipping the pages to, try and get ahead of the game, and now I'm behind. So, moved by Deputy Mayor Laughlin, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be it resolved that Council accepts the information correspondence dated September 29th from Kayla Gillis, President of Canada's National Ukrainian Festival, requesting a letter supporting their application for a building community through Arts and Heritage Grant to fund the costs associated with providing live music, dance, and cultural demonstrations at the 2025 Canada's National Ukrainian Festival. Further be resolved that Council appreciates the Canada's National Ukrainian Festival for their work in bringing Ukrainian entertainment to Dauphin and for keeping Ukrainian culture alive in our community, and authorizes our administration to provide a letter supporting their application and to assist with costs related to the 2025 festival. Questions or comments? Steve?
Does it indicate what they're asking for, like a monetary amount, or?
No, no. Okay. I might suggest they ask for everything they can get, right? Go big or go home. Anyhow, thank you for that. Moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Deputy Mayor Laughlin. Be resolved that we accept as information the following invitation, and that's from the Royal Canadian Legion for their Remembrance Day service for November the 11th. And I've indicated to our executive assistant that I will be attending on behalf of the city, but I invite everyone else who's available or interested to participate and to be at the event on the 11th. All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Sticilo. Be resolved that we accept the information regarding the following community event, and that's the Fusion Credit Union Community Infusion event, which is being held on October the 23rd, 2024. Questions or comments regarding this event? All in?
Councillor, I have to plug it. It's, if anyone hasn't been to one of these things, they're good. Usually as a new business, you don't get a chance to get some cash for startup. I believe Dusty's Meats was a winner of one of the very first ones, and yeah, it continues to go strong. So yeah, if you have time, it's worthwhile. It's a fun event, and Sversko does a good job as an MC.
Thank you. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. And now we'll move to council reports. And so we'll start with Councillor Ray since he's in quarantine somewhere. We'll let him take the mic first. So, Councillor Ray, you're up.
Thank you, Mayor Boziak. September 13th, I attended the last regular council meeting. On the 18th, we had our property standards meeting at City Hall. On the 23rd, I attended the special rec meeting in the afternoon, followed by our planning and priorities committee meeting. September 25th, rec committee meeting in the morning. On the 26th, I attended the Truth and Reconciliation Day held at MMM at Mackenzie Middle School. Kudos to the organization committee as they did a great job keeping well over 300 elementary and junior high students occupied, which is not an easy task. September 27th, I attended a special rec committee meeting with the Ag Society held here at City Hall. And October 1st, we had our bi-weekly CSWB meeting with CCFSC. And on the 3rd, I attended our Community Safety Wellbeing Advisory Team meeting. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councillor Ray. I hope you're feeling better soon. Councillor Daly.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. September 16th, regular council meeting. September 21st, attended the King's Home Opener. Very successful event, well done. Big win, which is always good. September 23rd, attended the PNP meeting here in council chambers. On the 27th, I also attended the Recreation/Ag Society meeting here that I thought was very positive. And on October 3rd, I had a meeting with Sam Murray, the Manitoba Housing District Director, on Housing Foundation updates, which I forwarded my notes earlier to everyone. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Daly. Councillor Bellemare.
Thank you. On the 17th of September, I attended a liaison meeting at the Watson, and we were reviewing building needs. So just make sure that you check out that great new floor that's now upstairs in the auditorium. September 23rd, 2 meetings, planning and priorities, and the Parkland Regional Library meeting. And that was the first meeting in the fall, and we had 17 out of the 21 library reps present or on Zoom. And so it was a really strong meeting turnout, and we have the opportunity to discuss libraries and everything that they need and to network. So it was a great meeting. The 24th, I attended a rail safety session at the Dauphin Neighborhood Renewal. A couple of schools brought students there to learn about rail safety, and they had a CN policeman from Brandon who had a really engaging presentation. I thought, it should be pretty straightforward, just stay away from trains, but he did it in a very meaningful way with kids. By the way, when he drove here from Brandon, he stopped a couple of speeders through the park. So I didn't realize that CN policemen had the same authority as the RCMP for giving speeding tickets. So just a heads up and slow down. 24th of September, Watson board meeting. On the 25th, Riverside Cemetery meeting. And one project there is that the board has commissioned B&B Memorial Restorations to pick up and straighten about 76 stones in the cemetery this year. 56 have been completed so far. So between that work and the work of our new groundskeeping staff, the cemetery grounds are much improved. A library board meeting on October 1st, community safety and well-being on the 3rd. Also on the 3rd, I attended the opening of a new library space in Gilbert Plains. And that community library is part of that whole Parkland Regional Library system that has 23 libraries in our region. And related to libraries, I just want to mention too that today I was at the Dauphin Library. The executive director, Allison Moss, has hosted a Manitoba Libraries Association provincial conference, and there were about 50 library personnel from numerous libraries across the province, Flin Flon, Thompson, Verdun, Pinawa, etc. So lots of information, lots of thought-provoking sessions. On the 2nd, I attended the Wormhole Theatre event at the Active Living Center. So if you know Christine Harpiak, she's an amazing writer, and she did 3 scripts that local actors presented. Very strong dialogue and great talent in our community. And to conclude, I'd just like to give a shout out to Gilbert Plains Municipality for their vision and support in renovating a larger space to house the new library. So you know, there's 21 municipalities involved through years, and I mean, support, you know, you've got new councils, new priorities, new budgets all the time, and sometimes, you know, maybe the support isn't quite where you want it to be, but Gilbert Plains really stepped up, and there's just a beautiful building with big lights and children's area, meeting area, all that kind of stuff. And I also found out you could check a library book out in Gilbert Plains and return it to Dauphin. So if you're at Clear Lake, you can go to Erickson and get a book out and return it at another library. So I didn't realize that was a feature of our regional library system. And that concludes my long report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bellemare. Councillor Stikilo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For myself, September 16th, regular council meeting. On September 23rd, just had a rec board meeting over at the Cup. And on the 23rd, there's planning and priorities meeting. I was sort of kind of part of that. I think there's a little bit of technical difficulties there. So yeah, a couple of minutes on that. On the 25th, September 25th, we had a special rec board committee meeting here at City Hall. And then I too was in attendance for the September 27th meeting with the Ag Society. And I just wanted to formally just mention and congratulate again the Sunshine Award winners, as stated by the mayor and Councillor Bellemare and by Charla, that, you know, it's great to see individuals and groups in our community stepping up and being making our city even greater than it is. And again, a lot of them do it for you know, the goodness of their heart and wanting to progress our city. So just again, congratulations to Brenda Gregory, Jerry Joss, Carla Wolfenden, and Clayton Swanton. And that ends my report.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Laughlin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For me, September 16th, that regular council meeting here at City Hall. On the 23rd, the rec meeting, and then planning and priorities the same day here at City Hall. That was followed up by representing the city and traveled with the city manager, of course, to Thompson for the AMM City Caucus meeting. Such a great event, great learning experience. So one of the fun facts I learned that I can give everybody here is their airport sees over 170 landings per day up in Thompson. So quite a busy airport, and that helped me understand why they're getting a new one up there, which we saw was currently under construction. So a great trip for sure. On the 27th, we had that meeting with the Dauphin Ag Society here at City Hall. And then earlier this week, RM liaison meeting, that was at the RM office on October the 2nd. And just want to, it doesn't feel like it, but just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Hard to believe that's next Monday, but it is. Happy Thanksgiving, and that ends my report.
Thank you. And Councillor Sobering.
Thank you, Mayor Boziak. Very quiet for me. I did attend the meetings here at the City Hall on the 16th and the 23rd. I did participate in Truth and Reconciliation events at the new Treaty 2 and 4 Health Services building on First Street, First Avenue, Northwest. And it seemed like it was really well attended. There was some gale force winds that day, which made that day a little bit miserable for everybody trying to be outside. But all in all, a good showing from the community at large. And just as far as the committees I'm involved with, the cemetery continues to make progress, as Councillor Bellemare mentioned, and the handy van as well is always looking for drivers. If anybody is looking for a part-time, full-time driving position, you do not need any special licensing. You just get in touch with the office at CN Station, and they will give you an application. That ends my report.
Thank you. I just want to echo many of the meetings that councillors represented the city at and were participating in over the last couple of weeks. I also want to acknowledge Deputy Mayor Laughlin for stepping in while I was away and doing all the heavy lifting. He knows how hard this job is, and I appreciate all of his efforts. Sean had no response to the how hard it is line. Should I say it again? No, Just wanted to acknowledge a couple of the meetings that councillors have been at. We've been spending an inordinate amount of time working with DRS and our special committee on trying to figure out, recreation in our community for the future. And I want to acknowledge all the staff from both the city and the Rec Commission and our council for stepping up and providing invaluable input into that process. I hope that the discussions we're having with the RM are fruitful, but I just want to basically share an anecdote or several anecdotes related to these discussions. I made a presentation at a provincial conference that was held in Dauphin last week that at DRS with recreation directors and practitioners from across the province. So there was approximately 40 or so rec professionals in the room. And what was really interesting, not so much my presentation, but the discussions I had with people that were so impressed with the facilities, particularly the facilities, but what Dauphin had. And they had a tour of Mamawee Park. They looked at some of the other facilities. They spent time in the arena. The meeting was held in the Aspen Lodge. And every person I talked to, was very impressed with, and not saying that Dauphin's a small place, but that a community of our size has that kind of rec delivery system and the facilities in place. And so it's reassuring, especially as we've been meeting for several months now on trying to hammer out an agreement that we've really got something good to hang on to and to improve and maintain and continue and sustain. And hearing it from other people in the field, not random folks who say nice arena or neat pool, but from people in the business who say that we have great facilities is very, very meaningful. And I just wanted to share that with council and Charlotte's mom and dad that are listening at home. I just wanted to conclude by also, I attended a couple of other events, not so much in the official capacity as being the mayor, but I get acknowledged at these events as the mayor. But there was the grand opening of the new activity court at DRCSS. The Buckets and Borders folks were back in town. Tremendous turnout. Hats off to John Marshall and his folks for volunteers for putting on a great event. The kids got basketballs and T-shirts. There was a bunch of old guys and gals playing an all-star basketball game. No medical assistance required. It was great. It was hot, but a great event. And then the following day, I know that several people participated in or were a part of Culture Days that's been going on in our community for the last couple of weeks. But I also did a basketball little drill as one of the events on the Sunday. And then we had about 70 people or so show up at the court, and we went through a few little things and had a good time. So lots of good stuff going on in our community. And as Councillor Stakalo mentioned, I do also want to acknowledge how I'm so pleased with council in that, we've created this Sunshine Award. And I think that, again, that just reflects positively on our community. And the 4 recipients this year are just the tip of the iceberg of the great people that are in our community. So with that, moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Deputy Mayor Loughlin, that we accept the council reports as presented. All in favor? Opposition? None. Motion is carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Loughlin, seconded by Councillor Daly, that this council meeting be recessed at 5:55 p.m. All in favor? And carried. See you, Sean. Thank you.